But I have Siddharth Luthra, Supreme Court lawyer, joining us to help all of our viewers understand the process right now. Siddharth Luthra, the CBI is saying that Manish Sisodia has been arrested. Tomorrow they will have to produce him before a court, and they would have to give grounds for which they need to have him in their custody despite a second round of questioning that lasted 8 hours. Is that right, sir?
Yes. So what has happened is that, in fact, there was a build-up to this, as I would think, because the other accused, though, were arrested, their bails came to be dismissed by the Sessions Court, and therefore I would have thought that this was a natural consequence. The larger question that needs to be asked is, there may be cases and there may be criminality. That's a separate issue. That is to be determined finally by the trial court. But how essential is arrest to an investigation, especially when these are cases of documentary evidence? After all, the CBI has been investigating these cases for a long time. So irrespective of whether it is today Manish Sisodia or anybody else, this issue is being highlighted because he is the Deputy Chief Minister. But when other people are getting arrested by agencies, a legitimate question rises: what are the parameters that determine the need to put such a person, an individual, to custody? And I think that's the question we as citizens should be asking overall. This is a classic case where it can be asked.
So how essential is arrest? That is the crux of the matter. That is the crucial question at this hour, the million-dollar question, which will come up in court. All right. But Mr. Luthra, explain this to us. Manish Sisodia has been investigated. This case has been going on for 5 months, but he has yet to be named as an accused in the charge sheet by the agency, correct? So the fact that they are now saying he has been arrested, does that mean they have some new information against him? Does that mean there's going to be a new charge sheet? How does this work?
Now, the peculiarity here is that while they're supposed to give grounds of arrest are normally so scanty that it is difficult to find out why a person has been arrested. The power to arrest exists under the Criminal Procedure Code, which says that you can arrest a person if you see him committing a crime. You can arrest a person if they're going to abscond. You're going to arrest a person if they are destroying evidence. So those parameters are defined in the law. But the problem that happens is, if an arrest takes place irregularly and there is a remand order by a court, the legitimacy of the arrest is not being questioned by the courts and even by the higher courts ordinarily. There are rare instances where the courts say a breach of arrest provision will lead to bail or interim bail. But by and large, once the person is arrested, it runs into the mill of the process till the person is bailed out. And habeas corpus is something which is not being accepted as a remedy for illegitimate arrest because the whole area is a grey area of the law. I will put it to you this way. You had this investigation going on for so long. You had complaint and supplementary complaint filed, or charge sheet filed in this case. Today, what is it that prompts you to arrest? Now, for that is something which the CBI should and ought to explain tomorrow in the court of law, and they will have to justify it. The peculiarity is that the jurisdiction of the magistrate at the stage of remand is very, very limited. And if the CBI can say, look, we've arrested, now we have a justification to remand, the courts, by and large, will give remand. But there have been instances where courts have said this arrest is legitimate, but unfortunately, those are very, very rare. Very, very rare.
So, in your experience, what you're saying is that the court would give the agency benefit of doubt, but you're saying they should and ought to share with the court. Do they not have to share with the court in the interests of justice and justice perceived to be done, that we know why, on what grounds they are saying Manish Sisodia needs to be arrested?
So my answer is straight away, they should and ought to share it, but as I said, this is a grey area of the law. And I think it is time for our courts to be a lot more vigilant and to put any investigating agency, any arresting agency on the spot, examine their case diaries, try and scrutinize the reasons for arrest, and then ask, why arrest?
Yes.
And that question needs to be asked increasingly across the board in every investigation.
Mr. Luthra, what would be the stand of the lawyers for the Aam Aadmi Party, the lawyers for Manish Sisodia in court? Could you help our viewers understand that?
So I think they will, depending on the offences invoked, if they are only up to 7 years, then they will say that they may say that there has been no satisfaction of Section 41A, which required just a notice and no arrest. Secondly, they may question the purpose of arrest, and they will, and I assume, and it is a no-brainer, that the CBI will ask for police custody remand, which the lawyers will try and oppose based on the Delhi High Court rules, which say remand should not be taken to get a confession, which is contrary to the Constitution and the law. So that is the generic ground that I believe they will be taking.
All right.
But I can't really speak for them. This is just based on my experience.
Absolutely. All right.